All right, let's get started here. Oh my god. Okay, let's go. Let's get a new test rolling. Yeah. Nice. We got 3 viewers right now. So what I'm doing is I'm studying for the glider written exam for my private pilot. I take the test in 9 days. I'm trying to get my 100-question moving average up to like 95. I like to read the questions aloud and explain why the answer I'm choosing is correct. And then we're going to go through about 60 questions. And at the end, I'll go back through and do the questions I got wrong. Okay, first question. What preparation should a pilot make to adapt the eyes for night flying? A, avoid bright white lights for at least 30 minutes before flight. B, wear sunglasses until after sunset until ready for the flight. C, avoid red lights for at least 30 minutes before the flight. Obviously, A, avoid bright white lights for at least 30 minutes before the flight. Got that one right. All right, question 2. If it is necessary to set the altimeter from 29.15 to 29.85, what change occurs? So, okay, let me read the answers first. 70-foot increase in density altitude, 70-foot increase in indicated altitude, 700-foot increase in indicated altitude. The answer is 70-foot increase in indicated altitude. So, how do we know this? Indicated altitude changes by 1,000 feet every inch of mercury in the altimeter setting. So, you just do the simple math and then times it by 100, 700. Easy. Okay. With certain Oh, this is an aerospace question. Okay. With certain exceptions, all aircraft within 30 miles of a Class B primary airport from the surface upward to 10,000 feet MSL must be equipped with an operational transponder having either Mode S or 4069 code capability with Mode C automatic altitude reporting capability. And our answers here. So this is a question about minimum equipment for airspace. The answers are an operable VOC or TCAN receiver and an ADF receiver, an ADS-B out equipment, instruments and equipment required for IFR operations. Class B. Class B is like big cities. New York City, Philadelphia. B for big. I think it's ADS-B out. Yeah, ADS-B out. And we know that because you can fly in Class B without IFR. And I'm not sure with VOR. We know what VOR is, but I don't think you need one. Yeah, you need Mode C. Okay, cool. Next question. The altimeter setting is the value to which the barometric pressure scale of the altimeter is set so that the altimeter indicates A, calibrated altitude at the field elevation, absolute altitude at the field elevation, or true altitude at the field elevation. Altimeter setting is the value to which the barometric pressure scale of the altimeter is set so the altimeter indicates calibrated altitude at field elevation, absolute altitude at field elevation, or true altitude. Well, calibrated altitude isn't a thing, so immediately not that one. It's either absolute or true. And I think it's absolute. No, it's true. Okay, got that one wrong. True altitude is MSL. Oh, we should have known that. Absolute altitude is AGL. So you would never set your altimeter to the above. You don't set your altimeter to 0 at your home airport. You set it to the height above sea level. And I should have known that. I'm not paying attention. If Dallas Executive RBD Redbird Airport is not in operation, which frequency should be used as a common traffic advisory frequency, CTAF, to monitor airport traffic? Okay, we're looking at the supplemental chart. Area 3. Okay, what do we got here? What frequency should be used as a common traffic advisory frequency? I'm scanning for CTAF. Oh, let's look. 128.55, maybe? Is that an option? Not even an option. We're screwed on this one. Oh, geez. Okay. So I gotta remember during the test, timed. So I think I have an average of like 3 minutes per problem. 60 problems. Maybe there's like a... Okay, let's just guess. Got it wrong. $127.25. Okay. We're doing real bad today. Easy question. Reading an altimeter. Altimeter 1 indicates A, 500 feet, B, 1,500 feet, 10,500 feet for C. So we're looking at it. You read it like the face of a clock. It's 500 feet. Yeah, at least I can do that one. The airspace directly overlying the town of Findlay is, let's see, Area 3 on the chart here. It's Class E. Class E airspace. Class E airspace from surface area, Class E airspace. Hell yeah. Okay, next. We're doing bad today. Not as good as yesterday. Yesterday my average score was like 90. Today, not as high. What symbol indicates a taxiway? Taxiway intersection hold marking. Hey Shakti. Where's my notebook? 27 degrees, 21 seconds, and 101 degrees and 1 second. West and I do have a beer. Yingling. Okay. So we know lines of longitude go north-south, latitude go east-west. So we're looking here. What are we looking at on this map? Okay, we're just looking at what airport is at that location. Longitude east-west, and we're looking at 47. And these are done every I can't think. Okay, I've seen this map before. They use it for a different question as well. Right now we're just looking at lat and longs to determine location on a map. And our longitude is 101. This is our line of longitude going north-south. So we know we're just line of longitude 0 starts at Greenland and goes up the further west you go, and then also goes up the further east you go. So we're looking at 101 degrees and 1 second west long. So that's going to be just to the outside of this line. And then our latitude is 47 degrees. And for the purposes of this exam, you just need to know that Texas is lower in latitude than Maine. So yeah, you can make sense of that. That's just how I remember it. So we're going down. They do, and on the chart supplementals, they do half degrees are shown. So that's 47. Okay. This is 48. This would be 47 and a half. No, it's further south. So yeah, 47 and a half. And we're going to go just a little bit south of that. We're looking at about the airport of Washburn. Yeah. Let's try that out. Cool. We finally got a good question. What condition must an aircraft be in order to spin? Your answers here are partially stalled with one wing low, stalled, a deep diving spiral. The answer is stalled. Has to be stalled to spin. The arrows refer to the end of the north-south runway, indicate that the area, that's a displaced threshold. Cannot be used for landing, but can be used for taxiing and takeoff. Yep, that is the answer. You can't use a displaced threshold to land. When activated, an emergency locator transponder emits on 400 megahertz and 121.5 megahertz for older models. Okay, I don't know the answer to this, so we're just going to go with the one with the most common. Okay, we got it wrong. 406. I wonder if there's a way to remember that. I guess just remember it. 406 megahertz. I'm getting a lot of hard questions today as compared to yesterday. Yesterday, my average score when I was all finished, I did 60 questions. My average was like an 87 or an 88. Today, it's low. It's real low right now. Probably 50. In regards to privileges and limitations, a pilot may A. act as pilot in command of an aircraft carrying a passenger for compensation if the flight is in connection with a business or employment. No. B. Not pay less than the pro rata share of operating expenses of a flight with passengers, provided the expenses involve only fuel, oil, airport expenditures, or rental fee. That's the answer. Or C. Not be paid in any manner for the operating expenses of the flight. B. Okay, question 14. At a higher elevation airports, the pilot should know that the indicated airspeed A should be increased to compensate for thinner air. B will be unchanged, but the ground speed will be faster. C will be higher, but the ground speed will be unchanged. What weather information can a pilot get from the flight service station when en route? En route. Actual weather information and thunderstorm activity along the route? No. Preferential routing and radar vectoring to circumnavigate the severe weather? Nope. Clearance into Class B airspace to avoid severe weather? What weather information can a pilot get from the flight service station when en route? It's probably actual weather information and thunderstorm activity along the route. Yeah, that's the answer. Okay, cool. Unless each occupant is provided with supplemental oxygen, no person may operate a civil aircraft to the United States registry above a maximum cabin pressure altitude of, we learned this one yesterday, it's 15,000 feet MSL. There's all sorts of different regulations for how high you can get with different levels of oxygen. So anything above 10,000 feet. Cool. See you, Shakti. Anything above 10,000 feet is recommended for pilots. And then after that, we get into the required range. And at night, that's just during the day. At night, anything above 5,000 is recommended for pilots, which seems absurd, honestly. But anyway, supplemental oxygen is required for if the flight is longer than 30 minutes, it's required above 12,500 feet to 14,000 feet. It's required all times, even if you just even if you just go above that height for a second at 14,000 feet to 15,000 feet. And then all crew and passengers at 15,000 feet and above. Hey, Riley, what's up? Yes! Okay. When work overload situation exists. Okay, Riley, you're answering the next question. I'm going to read you the question and the answers, and then the next one's on you. Okay, the question is, when a work overload situation exists. I don't know if he's still here. Anyway. When a work overload situation exists, A, rely on past experience to act automatically. B, think, slow down, and prioritize. Or C, reduce the number of information sources to get input from. What do you think the answer is? I'll read it one more time. When a work overflow situation exists. A, rely on past experience to act automatically. B, think, slow down, and prioritize. Or C, reduce the number of information sources to get input from. So we can whittle down. It's definitely not rely on past experience and act automatically. That makes no sense. So it's either B, think, slow down, and prioritize, or C, reduce the number of information sources to get input from. What do you think it is, Riley? I have my answer. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper here, and you tell me what you think it is. Yeah, I think B as well, and B is correct. Okay, your next question. This is going to be a tricky one for you. If you are operating a glider equipped with a 4096 code radar beacon transponder and not in contact with an air traffic control facility, what is the transponder code you should be operating on? Answers: 1202, B, 1200, C, 7700. I know the answer. Let's hear your shot in the dark guess. What do you got? 69. No, 7700. Cool. Okay, next question. What is meant by the special METAR weather observation for KOBI? And then it's a bunch of, it looks real ugly. I wish I could share my screen. These are fun. Riley, I'm going to send you a picture of it, okay? And I want you to tell me the answer. Sometimes people can logic their way through these. Okay, I'm going to send it to you. All right, it's on Snapchat, Riley. Check it out. I didn't even look at it yet, so I'm going to do that and come up with the right answer, and you tell me what you think. All right. Do you want me to text it to you, Riley? I'll text it to you as well. I got the right answer. I think you can get this one. Sometimes Shakti gets these, even though they're like real wacky to read. Damn. Why won't it load? I might just take a picture of it like right here. Sometimes that works. Oh, I already answered it, so that won't work. What the hell? Why is it taking so long? Did it load on Snapchat, Riley? Okay, you're wrong. The answer is C, and I will explain to you. Let me know when you have the picture opened, and I'll explain to you what each of these things mean. Okay. I will. Okay. So SPECI, that means like it's a special weather observation. KBOI is the airport. 09185 Zulu is the time and date. So I think 09 is 09 is the 9th day of the month, and then 1854 is the time. 1854 Zulu in like military time. Then the next section of numbers here we have is 32005 KT. So what that's telling you is the wind is 320 degrees. So straight up and down, north would be 0. 45 would be 45 degrees from north towards east. 90 would be east. 180 would be south, and 270 would be west. So here the wind is coming from like the northwest at 5 knots, 32005 knots. The next set of numbers is 1 1/2 SM. That's 1 1/2 statute miles of visibility. That's like how far you can see. RA is just an abbreviation for rain. It's just raining. BR, not sure what that means, but OVC means overcast at 700 feet. 17/16 is the temperature dew point spread. So 17 is the temperature, 16 is the dew point. A2990, I'm not sure what that is. Doesn't matter. The important part here is remarks. RMK, remarks. And RAB means rain began 12. And what that's saying is rain began 12 minutes after the hour. So then we go back to the time that the report was made. The first number of this line, 09/1854, and the hour was 18. So we know that rain began at 1812. It's a pain in the ass. Okay, next question. Each person operating an aircraft equipped with an ADS-B out must operate this equipment A, in transmit mode at all times, B, when flying in controlled airspace, C, at all times and above 10,000 feet MSL. At all times, at and above 10,000 feet MSL. It's C. I'm pretty sure it's C. It's not C. In transmit mode at all times. So if you have ADS-B, you have to use it. Okay. The day VFR visibility and cloud clearance requirement to operate over the town of Cooperstown after departing and climbing out of Cooperstown Airport, where below 700 feet AGL are. So we need to look at Cooperstown Airport and determine what airspace it is. Riley, you should just take the test, bro. You could probably do it. And I know you're into doing things like that. It'd be funny if you passed the aviation exam without ever flying, or it'd be cool. The day you should definitely do it too. The day VSR visibility and cloud clearance requirement to operate over the town of Coopersburg after departing and climbing out of Cooperstown Airport at or below 700 feet AGL. Cooperstown is Class D airport, so it's going to be, and we're at or below 700 feet AGL. So it's probably 1 mile in clear of clouds. It is 1 mile in clear of clouds. Cool. I'm going to star that one. Class E airspace. Class G below 700 feet. Okay. How should the flight controls be held while taxiing a tailwheel airplane into a right quartering headwind? Okay, right quartering headwind would be B. So I'm going to right aileron up. No, right aileron down. Aircraft departs an airport in the Mountain Standard Time Zone at 15:50 Mountain Standard Time for a 2-hour and 30-minute flight to an airport located in the Pacific Time Zone. What is the estimated time of arrival for the destination airport? The easiest way to do this is to just put it to universal time and then convert from there. So we're starting out at 15:15 Mountain Standard Time. That is in coordinated universal time. Mountain Standard is plus 7 hours. So then by the time we land, it should be um, 23:45 Universal Standard. So now we're saying we're in Pacific Standard Time, so we subtract 8 hours from that. Should be 15:45. Cool. Next question. A near midair collision is defined as an aircraft passing within a distance of less than A, 1 mile, B, 2,500 feet or half a mile, or C, 500 feet. It's definitely 500 feet. 1 mile is way too big of a thing. 2,500 feet, we do that all the time. 500 feet, correct. Okay. A deviation in magnetic compass is caused by flaws of the permanent magnet of the compass, difference in the location between true north and magnetic north, magnetic fields within the aircraft distorting the lines of magnetic force. Riley, do you have a guess? I will read you the question again. Deviation in magnetic compass is caused by A, presence of flaws in the permanent magnets of the compass. B, difference in the location between true north and magnetic north. Or C, magnetic fields within the aircraft distorting the lines of the magnetic force. I'm gonna pick the right answer, and I'm gonna wait for you. It is not B. It's a weird question. It's actually the magnetic fields within the aircraft distorting the lines of the magnetic force. Yeah, it's a weird one. That's one you just gotta know, unfortunately. All right, here's another one for you to think about. After the post-flight inspection, you notice a discrepancy. Who is responsible to correct the discrepancy prior to the next flight? A, the certified aircraft mechanic. B, the pilot in command. Or C, the owner or designated operator. Okay. After a post-flight inspection, you notice a discrepancy. Who is responsible to correct the discrepancy prior to the next flight? So the key here is post-flight, after the flight. The answers are A, a certified aircraft mechanic. B, the pilot in command. Or C, the owner or designated operator. So let me break down the question for you. After a post-flight inspection, you notice a discrepancy. That's basically saying something's wrong with the airplane. Suddenly someone looked at it, the pilot looked at it, something's wrong. Who's responsible to correct the discrepancy prior to the next flight? A certified aircraft mechanic, the pilot in command, or the owner or designated operator? So we can cancel out some, like, normally in all FFA tests, one answer is just bullshit. One answer is like completely wrong. The other two are kind of close, and you have to pick the one that's more right. So in this question, the complete bullshit one is the certified aircraft mechanic. Aircraft mechanic owes you nothing. He doesn't have to fix shit. He's just a hired gun. Who does the responsibility lie on to fix the discrepancy? Is it the pilot in command, or is it the owner or designated operator? C. It is C. Yeah, the owner or designated operator. Good call, Riley. Okay, this is another weird one. What is the valid period for the TAF for KMEM? And it's another one of like those METAR weather things, but this one is probably, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines long. When is the TAF valid for? Okay, I'm just going to read through this and see if I can make sense of it. The first set of numbers is the time, 12th day of the month, 1720 Zulu. And this is valid. This weather report is valid from the 12th day of the month, hour 18, to the 13th day of the month, hour 24. That might be when the TAF is valid. Could be. Actually, I think that's probably the answer. But I'm going to read through this anyway and try and see if there's anything else going on here. Wind, visibility, hazy, broken, probability 40% chance of overcast. Okay, I think I'm just going to go with 12:18 to 13:24. $18 Zulu on the 12th to 24 Zulu on. Oh shit. Okay. 24 Zulu on. It's got to be. It's 30 hours. Yeah. So what was going on there was, yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to try to explain that. Each person operating an aircraft equipped with an ADS-B out must operate this equipment. We just had this question earlier, so we should get this right. Let's see if Riley's paying attention. Each person operating an aircraft equipped with ADS-B out must operate this equipment: A, in transmit mode at all times, B, when on an IFR flight plan, or C, when on a VFR flight plan. So let me explain what's going on here in this question. So the question says each person operating an aircraft equipped with ADS-B out must operate this equipment. ADS-B out is like, it's your GPS telling air traffic control. It's like the standardized method of sharing your location. So ADS-B out means you're only transmitting your location. You're not receiving everyone else's. There's ADS-B out and ADS-B in. So that's what that is. Other two terms in this that might throw you off is IFR flight plan would be an instrument flight rated flight plan, which means you're not looking outside the windows of your airplane at all. You're only looking at your instruments. Instrument flight rating. VFR flight plan would be visual flight rating, the exact opposite of that. You're using your instruments and you're looking outside the window. So we should know the answer of this from earlier. We answered this exact question for some reason. Do we have a guess? Read the question one more time. Okay. Each person operating an aircraft equipped with ADS-B out. ADS-B meaning the standardized method for transmitting GPS coordinates. Each person operating an aircraft equipped with ADS-B out must operate this equipment: A, in transmit mode at all times. B, when on an instrument flight rated flight plan, which means only using your instruments, not looking out the windows. Or C, when on a visual flight rated flight plan, which would be looking out of your windows and using your instruments in conjunction. No. Good guess. But the actual answer is in transmit mode at all times. I actually just learned that too, so I don't blame you. If you have ADS-B out, apparently you got to be using it at all times. So you can't have it off. Okay, here's one you might be able to logic through. To act as pilot in command of an aircraft carrying passengers, a pilot must show logbook endorsement, the satisfactory completion of a flight review, or completion of a flight proficiency check within the preceding A, 12 calendar months, B, 24 calendar months, or C, 6 calendar months. Shit. Okay. To act as the pilot in command of an aircraft carrying passengers, the pilot must show logbook endorsement of the satisfactory completion of a flight review or completion of a pilot proficiency check within the preceding A, 24 calendar months, A, 12 calendar months, B, 24 calendar months, or C, 6 calendar months. So is it either? No, it's called a biannual. So it's 2 years, 24 calendar months. I wish you would give me more science-based questions. Okay, here's a science-based one. I think you got this. We're going to see. What is a characteristic of stable air? A, temperature decreases rapidly with altitude. B, fair weather and cumulus clouds. Or C, stratiform clouds. So let me explain this. Temperature decreases rapidly with altitude. Temperature decreases with altitude? Temperature decreases as altitude decreases? I don't know. That's the throw out one. B, fair weather and cumulus clouds. Fair weather and cumulus clouds would be like the sunny day. The clouds have like big puffy clouds with flat bottoms. And C, stratiform clouds are like, think of a winter day when the clouds look really high up and they're super wispy. They're just like wisps of straight lines. They're not like puffy. No. Nope. Stable air would be so actually like sunny days with the big puffy clouds, those are unstable days. And you can think of that because have you ever been outside on a day like that where the clouds look real puffy and stuff, and then the next thing you know it's like a thunderstorm, like it just happens and then everything's dark and it's a thunderstorm. That's very unstable air mass. A stable air mass would be like like we talked about, a winter day with like those big wispy clouds overhead. Those are the stable clouds. Those signify like stable clouds. Yeah, a lot of these questions, if someone like explains it to you one time, you got it. Dead to rights. You know that shit. The northern hemisphere, when converting from magnetic course to true course, a pilot should A. Add westerly variation regardless of heading. B. Subtract easterly variation when on a heading of 360. Or C. Add easterly variation regardless of heading. It's add easterly variation regardless of heading. And we know that by a moniker, east is least and west is best. And you write TM on it, like trademark. And the trademark means true to magnetic conversions. And east is least means you subtract easterly variation and you add westerly variation. What minimum visibility and clearance from clouds are required for VFR operations in Class G airspace at 700 feet AGL or below during daylight hours? I think it's 1 mile clear clouds. It is. It's super low. Class G is like uncontrolled airspace. 1 mile clear clouds. Motion of the air affects the speed at which the airplane moves. A, over the air's surface. B, through the air. C, in a turn. Okay, Riley, what do you think of this one? Are you still there? What do you think of this one? Motion of the air affects the speed at which the airplane moves. A, over the Earth's surface. B, through the air. Or C, in a turn. Motion of the air affects the speed with which the airplane moves. A, over the Earth's surface. B, through the air. Or C, in a turn. Let me see. In a turn. No, definitely not in turn. Through the air is a good guess. In a turn for this question is your throw out. It's your throw out one. Through the air is a good guess, but let's think of this. Here is your airplane. So we think of things as airspeed and ground speed. If I have a headwind of like 5 miles an hour and my airplane is going 25 miles an hour, these cancel out. And my airplane still thinks it's going, as far as the air going over the wings is concerned, my airplane's going 25 miles an hour. But as in terms of how fast I'm going across the ground, I'm going 20 miles an hour. So, with that knowledge, the motion of air affects the speed at which an airplane moves, A, over the Earth's surface. And we know this because sometimes with a really strong headwind in certain slow-flying airplanes, you can actually fly backwards. So it's real weird looking. If my stall speed is like, say, 40 miles an hour, and I'm really high up and there's a 40-mile-an-hour gust, I could be flying perfectly fine, but I look down at the ground and I'm literally flying backwards. It's real weird, but it does work that way. Certificate of aircraft registration expires 3 years after the last day of the month of the date the certificate was issued. 3 years after the last day of the month. See you, Riley. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna hang out for a bit longer, but I appreciate you coming. It was fun. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's Riley, Shakti. Hi, Shakti. Okay. This question's a real stumper. One of the most easily recognized discontinues across a front is A, an increase in cloud coverage, B, an increase in relative humidity, C, a change in temperature. Say C, a change in temperature, which is right. I don't know why. Weather is like a real pain in the ass. Anyway. Floor of Class B overlying Hicks Airport, T-67, northwest of Fort Worth Meacham Field is, looking in Area 4. Yeah, he just left. The floor of the airspace here, I think it's 3,200 feet. Let's look around. See you, Shakti. 3,200 feet. I think it's 3,000 feet. Oh, jeez. Okay. Whew. What information is contained in a convective segment? Tornadoes, embedded thunderstorms, and hail 3/4 of an inch or greater in diameter. The floor of Class B airspace overlying Hicks Airport, northwest of Fort Meacham Field. Dallas Redbird is not in operation. What frequency should be used as a common traffic advisory to monitor airport traffic? Area 3. When activated, an emergency locator transponder ELT transmission on 406 megahertz. What corrective action should be taken if, while thermaling at minimum sink speed in turbulent air, the left wing drops while turning to the left? Lower the nose before flying opposite rider. In the northern hemisphere, converting from magnetic to true, this is true to magnetic. Add eastern variation regardless of headwind. How should the flight controls be held while taxiing a tailwheel airplane into a right quartering headwind? Right rudder. Well, it's always elevator up. 49.